Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. We got a good one today. We're taking a look at TPS's 2022 NFL Mock Draft 3.0, baby. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love having that nice, beautiful football discourse with you all. But I will have my own mock draft on Tuesday. It's a 7-round mock draft. The Patreon becomes available that day, where you can follow my full prospect rankings, my total big board as I adjust it and update it in real time. You'll also have access to team-specific mock drafts. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a banger. Hopefully you're interested in that. It's going to be one of the best ways to support the channel. And, of course, we're doing the stream for the National Championship, the watch along. Join us Monday for that. That's going to be a banger. As you can tell, I'm in my crop top. I'm in my lazy day gear. I'm doing a lot of evals today, so I'd like to be comfortable, and I want to show these traps off, baby, because I'm looking burly. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Let's do the dang thing. They did it a little funky, I should say, to where they just show people's faces. They use Tankathon, by the way, for the current draft order. But Jacksonville Jaguars, they go Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson makes a ton of sense. Right now, I think 3 prospects are likely the pick here. None of them being quarterback. Obviously, with T-Law, you ain't going quarterback anyway. But the quarterback class is a bit suspect. So I don't know if we're going to see one of these top picks, maybe top 5 picks used on a quarterback. So Jags, regardless, again, they're not in the quarterback market, but you go Evan Neal here, try to protect your franchise quarterback, your franchise investment with maybe Evan Neal. I think he's definitely in that tier with Hutch and KT, but in terms of Hutch and KT, it's really just a coin toss. Who do you prefer? Who do you think fits better in your system? Both are fabulous prospects. On to the Detroit Lions. They go KT. Makes a ton of sense. First verse, same. Second verse, same as the first. I didn't mess it up in my last video, and someone was like, oh, that's good. That's a good quote. And I was like, it is a good quote. I'm going to use it again. And then I butchered it. That's it. I'm retiring it to never be used again. But Detroit, obviously, quarterback, you could assume, you could be like, oh, we would like to upgrade from Goff. Obviously, this might not be the class to do that in, at least in the first round. Maybe you look to day 2 for a Ritter or a Carson Strong. Instead, they go KT. Again, best player available, and they don't really need a guy like Evan Neal. They have a pretty solid offensive line. Let's see what we're getting with the Houston Texans. Evan Neal, again, you could kind of assume that they would go with the 3rd best player on the board. I have seen guys like Derek Stingley, Andrew Booth even slotted here, Kyle Hamilton, who, again, safety, and it's not a valuable position. It's a devalued position, I should really say. I think it's a very valuable position. But where will Kyle Hamilton go in the top 10? Will he go in the top 10? It's a big question right now. But them going Evan Neal, Laramie Tunsil, there were the trade rumors. They were shopping him before the trade deadline. Maybe he's on his way out this offseason. Howard, he has gotten some starts at left tackle and looked pretty good this year. And then they decided to move him back to left guard for some reason. I don't know. But getting Evan Neal, it's kind of a no-brainer. I imagine the Jets, they're going Derek Stingley with this next pick. Yep, there it is. Derek Stingley going to the Jets. I like the idea of this. I get it. Joe Douglas, he loves the trenches. You can only address the trenches in the first round so much every year. You know, it's like they've used the last 2 first rounders on guys in the trenches, being your Mekhi Becton, your Elijah Vera Tucker. You could go with a guy like, I think Charles Cross is a good scheme fit for LaFleur, being a very athletic tackle with some good movement skills. You could address the defense, the more so the pass rush. Saleh, big believer in, hey, we could kind of put together bits and pieces of our secondary without high investment if we invest a ton into the pass rush. That was a big philosophy there in San Francisco. Maybe they do it here. Maybe they invest in like a George Karlaftis here at 4. That would kind of be the guy, maybe. But I like Derek Stingley. I think it's a phenomenal pick. Obviously, we need to answer questions in terms of how's that ankle? You doing all right, bud? We'll see. Kyle Hamilton, kind of another guy you could chalk up to potentially going here. But I suppose we will see. Let's see what the Giants' next pick is. I hate these video ones. I always have to jump around. Tyler Linderbaum. So rather than going with a tackle like Charles Cross, like Ikem Ekwonu, they go with Tyler Linderbaum. Probably a more safe option, but not a high value option. Playing the center position. It just interior offensive line. It's a less valuable position. But I don't know. I feel like he's close to that Quentin Nelson tier of interior player where it's like he's almost feels like a sure thing. Obviously, no one's a sure thing in the NFL, but he kind of feels that way. He feels like a similar prospect. So they grab him for the interior. Obviously, I keep saying obviously because it is obvious the offensive line needs to be addressed in some fashion. They don't necessarily have the cap to do that. So they're going to have to do it through the draft, especially since, they're sticking with DJ for a little bit longer. I can imagine, depending on what the guys at TPS, what their big board's like, we're probably looking at edge at this next pick for a pass rusher. Pass rush is a big problem for the Giants. You could also make a case for one of the linebackers. So let's see if Carolina, this is where we see a quarterback off the board. There it is, Matt Corral. Personally, not my top quarterback. I've talked about that in past videos where Matt Corral's kind of slid down for me because compared to the other 3 guys I have ahead of him, I feel like his floor is a lot lower than maybe a guy like Pickett. And when you look at Sam Howell and Malik Willis, Howell's ceiling's not nearly as high as those guys. So he kind of falls in this middle area where it's like, what are you? So still got a first round grade on him, but he's not my cup of tea right now. Like there's a lot I like about Matt Corral, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of indifference. I feel better about him at the second half of the first round. But Panthers, they go quarterback. Makes sense. I mean, they are kind of stuck with Darnold for another year. You can also obviously make the case for offensive line. I think those are kind of the big options there for the Carolina Panthers. Let's see. We got, Kyle Hamilton. This isn't a favorite pick by Jets fans. I've constantly seen Jets fans like, we're not going to double dip in secondary. That's Joe Douglas blasphemy. And again, Saleh, a guy at least, depending on how much say he really had when it came to who they drafted. Again, I don't really know that personally. That's just not addressing the secondary early in the draft. Just hasn't been a 49ers philosophy, it just hasn't been what they've done. But Kyle Hamilton, this is great value. You're leaving the first round with 2 of the top 5 prospects in this class. Your secondary gets a huge step up from having guys like Kyle Hamilton, Derek Stingley. It's just, I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's see what the Giants do here. Imagine George Karlaftis has been a popular choice for a lot of people here, and he is the choice here. So they get a pass rusher who is a bit different than what they have in Azeez Ojulari. I like that. I think Nakobe Dean, Devin Lloyd are interesting options. So, that's dope. That's a good jersey swap. I like that. All right, Washington football team. I imagine quarterback. This is kind of an easy one to put quarterback at. I think the big problem with the secondary is the safety position, but at 9, with Kyle Hamilton not on the board, you're not going that way. They extended Charles Leno, gave him a 3-year extension. Samuel Cosmi is the right tackle of the future. There's really no one I want to address the interior line with. Like Kenyon Green, you can make a case, but I'd rather him at tackle. But he could be a banger guard. But you're also picking a 9, and that's not a great pick. Maybe you jump on one of the receivers. Like, there's a lot of options Washington do here. I imagine quarterback's it, though. So they go with Kenny Pickett. He is kind of the safer option here. While I think he is a top 10, top 12 quarterback in the league, for me, that's kind of like my projection for him. I just don't think he's going to be an elite quarterback. Maybe I'm not seeing something. Not saying my say is the end all be all when it comes to Kenny Pickett. Like, I think he's got an NFL arm. I think he maneuvers the pocket well. He goes through progressions well. I think his accuracy for the most part is pretty good. I think his ball placement could be a bit better. But there's nothing here nothing I'm seeing like with guys like Malik Willis. Obviously, you can see that huge upside. Sam Howell, he has that huge upside with his arm. Like, probably outside of Malik Willis, has the biggest arm in this class and one of the most accurate deep ball passers in this class, or one of the more accurate deep ball passers in this class. But like, I think an easy comp in terms of what he can be, not saying play in style, but of what he could mean to an offense, is like a Kirk Cousins, is like a Derek Carr, a guy that if you surround him with the right pieces, he will make you a contender year in and year out. I mean, just look what Derek Carr does for a Las Vegas Raiders team. I'm sorry, devoid of talent. It's got a lot of young talent on there. It doesn't have a lot of talent in general. And look, he's made that team mediocre. That team's like maybe a 3 to 4 win team at best without Derek Carr. So there is a lot to be said there of what just having quality quarterback play can do for your team, for your roster. Atlanta Falcons, with the news of Calvin Ridley recently, wanting to move on from Atlanta, move out of there after missing the season, leaving the team for personal reasons. It looks like he just wants a fresh start at this point. The guy's going to get paid a lot too. He's coming up on his contract, right? I don't think they've given him I think he's still on his rookie deal. I could be wrong about that. Feels like Calvin Ridley hasn't been in the league that long. I feel like he's still on the... Actually, let's check. Calvin Ridley contract. Yeah, he's still on the rookie deal. I thought so. I was going to say, he doesn't feel like he's been in the league a long, long time. But yeah, he's actually in a contract year as well. But it looks like they've already dished out the 5th-year option. At least that's what Spot Rack is telling me. They have all the update contract stuff. Regardless, I think receiver has become a lot more plausible at this point with Ridley potentially not returning to the squad. Pass rush, obviously, I think it's the worst position in Atlanta. I think Atlanta might have the worst pass rush in all of football, at least bottom 3. You can make the case for quarterback. So let's go ahead and see what they do here. Are they talking about a trade? Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Holy moly. Oh, they were still talking about Washington. Okay. Oh, Malik Willis going to Atlanta. I mean, hey, Matty Ice, he's staying for one more year just because his contract doesn't allow you to really move him just yet. So Malik Willis, a guy that probably needs to sit for a year. Perfect. He could sit under the tutelage of Matty Ice, maybe improve upon that decision making, at least you would hope. And then you got a franchise quarterback, Arthur Smith, man, a guy that he's a really good offensive mind, and he could play around with a guy like Malik Willis and just the gifts that he possesses. Let's see what Denver does here. Another hot spot for quarterback. At this point, you'd be taking the fourth quarterback on the board, being Sam Howell, big Sam Howell guy. I wouldn't mind that personally because I'm a bit higher on Sam Howell than probably some of the draft community. Right tackle, Bobby Massey. He's done a solid job, but at the end of the day, he's kind of a replacement starter, or he's a replacement starter at this point. Or a bridge starter, however you want to view that or see that. Pass rush. There's a lot of different avenues they could go if it's not quarterback. Kenyon Green is the most interesting, by the way. Next tackle off the board. No Icky, no Cross. Say they opt for a guy that's actually played right tackle, who actually has played all over the offensive line there at Texas A&M. He actually started this year at right tackle before Texas A&M decided to play musical chairs with Kenyon Green and have him move all over the place here and there. So that's a very valuable piece, seeing that he could kind of start a variety of different positions. I kind of like that. I like that. I like it a lot. I'm intrigued. I mean, hey, we don't know where like guys like maybe where if Aaron Rodgers, if he leaves Green Bay, where he ends up. Russell Wilson, if he leaves Seattle, where he ends up. Deshaun Watson, if he's ever playing again, where he ends up. And then you also got other guys like Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, other guys that might get traded. Like, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these other quarterbacks. So, yeah, okay, Denver. I like that. It feels a little early. I think Kenyon Green's getting a little devalued by the draft community. People just kind of forget about him. Very good. Like, for me, I'm willing to take him inside the top 15. I like this pick, actually. Minnesota Vikings almost feels like it's corner, it's edge, one of the two. They go with Kyer Elam. This is interesting. I don't dispute the pick. Corner seems like the right spot. As you see here, their cornerback room after this season consists of Cameron Dantzler, Chris Boyd, Harrison Hand, probably one of the worst cornerback rooms in all of football. Patrick Peterson, you could bring him back again on another one-year deal, but what are you doing? Kyer Elam at least gives you maybe a legit shutdown corner at the next level. He's kind of in a down year by his standard, by the way. By his standard, he set a high bar. So, and I mean the other corners in this class like McCreary, Booth to end the year at least, they've been really hot. Sauce for me, man. Sauce is like, he's peaking at the right time. He could have a strong Senior Bowl and then watch out. Who's he? I feel like Trent McDuffie. You could bring in this conversation. He feels like the forgotten corner in this class at this point, unfortunately. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense to me. Who's the next team? Oh, Garrett Wilson. Okay. This one's kind of like obvious. The Cleveland Browns, they already have Baker on the 5th year. So this next year, it's kind of, let us know, man. Are you our franchise quarterback or are you not? He's going to be healthy next year, God willing. So bringing in a guy like Garrett Wilson, it gives Baker Mayfield all the opportunity to succeed or no excuses if he fails. So it makes a lot of sense. Philadelphia Eagles, their first pick. What are we doing? DeMarvin Leal, that's interesting. DeMarvin Leal is going to be interesting where he goes in the draft specifically. How does the team view him? Do they view him as this hybrid edge interior guy, or do they view him as a guy specifically on the interior? Maybe you want to keep him at the edge. I think for Philly, you could use a variety of the two. I feel like they got a guy similar in that vein to Milton Williams, who's kind of freak athlete for his size, that can play on the outside, but you like him more in the middle or on the interior. Fletcher Cox, up there in years. Hargrave, banger sign-in. He has been so good. So having Williams there to kind of like be maybe the Fletcher Cox heir apparent, at least at this point, very good rotation piece. Leal comes in, kind of pushes Brandon Graham. You got Sweat there. Derek Barnett, I don't think, is back with the squad. But Leal, a guy that you can kick to the inside. I mean, the Eagles, they love their trenches, so I don't mind this. This is interesting. It's not like an Ajabo. Maybe a Kingsley and Agbaree, if that's your cup of tea. Y'all know it's mine. I'm a big fan. So, a very interesting first pick for the Eagles, especially with corner kind of being a big need, in my opinion. I imagine this next pick for the Saints is Jameson Williams. It's been that pick every other draft. Oh, they go Chris Olave instead. I mean, it's the same idea. They go with the top, at least their top burner in the class. While you can make a case, Olave, he's the better route runner, the more complete route runner, more polished. Maybe the more complete receiver. But he just doesn't have the stop-start ability of Williams. He doesn't have the after-the-catch ability of Williams. I prefer Williams. But, I mean, I don't even want to say this is a refreshing change. It's the same idea. It's the same philosophy. You're getting someone who could stretch the field. Baltimore Ravens, they could go a variety of different ways. With the top tackles still left on the board, mainly Icky. Like, dude, Icky's such a good scheme fit for the Baltimore Ravens, but they can really go anywhere. They go with Sauce. Lost in the Sauce. Good pick. I like it. You got Tavon Young. He's a free agent this season. Jimmy Smith's old. We saw lots of injuries to the cornerback room. So cornerback depth, you kind of want to have it. He's an ideal fit to the defense here. A defense that likes to play a lot of man, that really trusts their corners to kind of play on an island, so they can bring these like 5 to 6 man blitzes. You have corners like Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey. They're kind of interchangeable in terms of they can play the slot as well and the outside, so you can move those guys around. Solid. I like this. Icky, I think I might have taken Icky here, just knowing the need they have at right tackle, and getting a guy that's really good scheme fit. But I'm not going to dispute that too much. Pittsburgh Steelers, are we seeing a quarterback? I doubt it. I think Steelers are going to be the market for one of those vets. Charles Cross, there it is. Okay. He's kind of fit in the vein of what, or at least what the Steelers are moving towards, what they want to move towards in terms of the offensive line. They're trying to get these more athletic players on their offensive line. They've done it with like a Kendrick Green. My mind is blanking. And they've moved on from other guys like the Castro. To be fair, like he was kind of injured a lot too. But Villanueva. So getting a guy like Cross makes a ton of sense in the world. The pass blocking wasn't great, particularly this year, but mainly I think it was the run blocking that was atrocious. While I would say Cross still needs to work a bit on his anchor, you saw that progress through the season, and I mean he literally had a coming out party this year. So yeah, this feels like what Pittsburgh would do. Raiders, they could go anywhere. I'm just gonna say it. They could go anywhere. Just grab talent. A team very devoid of talent. What? Is that Roger McCreary? It is. Okay. So they grab Roger McCreary. I actually like this pick. I think their quarterback depth is not good. It's bad. You have, Mullen, going to be a good cornerback too. You got a very good slot in Nate Hobbs. If he could keep his head on his shoulders straight and, not make foolish decisions, but neither here or there. You live, you learn. And then Casey Hayward, listen, he's an older guy. He was coming off a bad year or a down year, and then came into this year and just really, really helped out the secondary. And then obviously they all got banged up, and we just saw how really shallow the depth is at the corner position for the Raiders. So now you could bring Casey Hayward back, but you do want to look to the future at some point. I think McCreary is a good look, a very like a ball hawking type of pick here too. The guy's ball production is through the roof, so I like that. Jameson Williams, all right. Ooh, this is interesting. This is a bit more of the same of what they have there in Philly, which I think that plays to Jalen Hurts' strengths. Jalen Hurts, he's a pretty accurate deep ball passer. Where he struggles is the intermediate to short passes. But grabbing a guy that you pair up with Devontae Smith, like, I like this. This is also a guy you could just dump off to and watch him work. You know, give him a little bit of space. I like the idea of the Eagles going with an offensive player. Since they have 3 first-round picks, if they're going to keep all of them, I like the idea of them going with 1 offensive player and then 2 defensive. Chargers, Jordan Davis. I bet you it's Jordan Davis. Chargers so bad at stopping the run, I feel like it makes too much sense. I look at this Miami play all the time, man. No, they go Drake London. Interesting. Mike Williams is a free agent, so a lot of this could be dictated on Mike Williams. They're not very. They're similar in aspects. Both are these contested catch guys. I would say Mike Williams is a bit more vertical. He's got a bit more explosiveness off the line of scrimmage. While I think Drake London's pretty savvy, but these are go up and get it type of like receivers. Drake London, 19 of 28 on contested catches last year. Like I always say, you know, if you're gonna struggle to separate, you better be a freaking great contested catch guy. That's how I felt about actually his former teammate Michael Pittman. And you know what? Drake London, even better in that regard. So I like that. This is a different pick than what you would expect. Philadelphia Eagles' final pick, corner. Corner's kind of flown off the board. Trent McDuffie's a good scheme fit. Who else? Andrew Booth. He's been falling in a lot of drafts. So they don't... Okay, they go Devin Lloyd. They haven't drafted a linebacker in the first round in, 40 years? But I bet you, if they're going to do it any year, this would be the year when they have 3 first-round picks. Devin Lloyd's fantastic. I think a great scheme fit. A guy that can be a very effective blitzer, that could actually just line up edge and just have at it. Good short area quickness, a very sure tackler. He might have this 70 to 80% completion rate when targeted. That's typically about average for linebackers nowadays. But what you really want is these guys that ensure there's no yards after the catch. I think Lloyd will be a guy like that. So this is a good pick. Let's see what my Miami Dolphins do. Fins up, baby. Fins up. That's Sticky Icky, baby. Pretty sure that's Sticky Icky. Sticky Icky Ikem Ikwanu. This is one of the guys that I'm willing. When it comes to Dolphins, I don't want to get younger and more inexperienced on the offensive line. But I'm okay if guys there ain't no way Evan Neal falls, but if he does, I'm cool with the Dolphins drafting him. Charles Cross, Icky, Tyler Linderbaum, and Kenny Green. Those are, I think, the 5 guys I'm kind of okay, you know what? If they're available, if you want to go offensive line, go ahead, go do it. I like the idea of just addressing it for agency. You have a lot of cap, so go spend it on offensive line. Bring some veterans in here. Veteran leadership. Let's quit relying on this inexperience and hoping it develops, hoping it works. Let's make this offensive line much better so we can get a fair evaluation of Tua instead of this RPO nonsense that it's like, look, it's working. Yeah, because we weren't playing good teams for the most part. And then we run, like when we run into a Tennessee Titans team who is missing its best player, it's like running into a buzzsaw. We get exposed. So yeah, no, let's do that. David Ojabo going to the New England Patriots. If they keep this pick, Patriots always tough to draft for because you never know. Who can ponder the infinite mind of Bill Belichick? But Ojabo, hey, yeah, get some pass rush right next to Matt Judon or opposite of Matt Judon. You got a phenomenal pass rusher from the interior in Chris Olave. Chris Winovich, things haven't really worked out there for whatever reason. He's just not seeing the field a ton anymore after kind of breaking out a couple of years ago, or what feels like a couple of years ago. So yeah, no, they could really go anywhere. Booth would be an option here. I imagine they bring back J.C. Jackson though. So there is that. All right, let's see what we got cooking for the Arizona Cardinals. Andrew Booth, ton of sense. Get more cornerback help. Robert Alford, when will he get hurt again? You'd be like, well, we got Marco Wilson. Listen, Marco Wilson, very up and down rookie year. Guess what? In college, he was very up and down in general. So much so they moved him to the slot. You know what? Just move him to the slot. Like, just grab cornerback talent. Just grab it, please. All right. Let's see what we got going on. Buffalo Bills. Run defense. Jordan Davis. I particularly want to take one of the guards here just yet. We could see a running back. Maybe there is one running back that goes in the first round. I know a lot of people would say this would be the landing spot. Jordan Davis, though. Makes a ton of sense. Get a nice, meaty run stuffer. A guy that'll be an elite run defender who has potentially that pass rushing upside. This guy's going to get drafted in the first round. In my opinion, probably get overdrafted just because of his size, his explosiveness, and ability, agility at that size. But there are a lot of kinks in his game. Is he a 3-down player? Is he a guy that will develop into a high-end pass rusher for like a zero tech? Well, I don't know. We'll see. Cincinnati Bengals again. We're sitting here thinking and pondering. Is there a tackle you're willing to take? Are you going to take like a Trevor Penning? Are you going to take a Bernhard Raimann? Are you going to go maybe a Trent McDuffie? He's the only corner really left on the board at this point, right? I believe so. Nakobe Dean's still on the board. You go linebacker, you'd be like, linebacker's not a need for the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, if the value is there, just take it. Trent McDuffie, good fit. Awuzie really had a breakout year this year. Getting someone solid next to him. I know Eli Apple, he's playing better, but are you really going to trust that? Nah. So let's go ahead and do this. Dallas Cowboys could go a variety of different ways. Oh, is that Brisker? I think that's Jaquan Brisker. It is, okay. I thought so. Again, I don't really, like, I kind of know these guys' faces. Kind of, sort of. I'm used to seeing them with helmets on. So, I might not know the faces of all these guys. I'm kind of waiting for the stumble here. I've kind of gotten lucky and been using context clues with jerseys and whatnot. But, yeah, no, I mean, they could go with best player available. They could kind of do whatever. You know, Brisker, some people will be like, oh, they don't really value safety. But, yeah, I mean, you got a lot of guys that are going to be free agents. So, it's like, come on, just take the value if you consider this good value. Nakobe Dean would be so fun. So fun. Such a fun idea. You go with one of the tackles and be like, yeah, we're going to, develop this guy, and whenever Tyron Smith is ready to hang it up, we'll do that. We'll let him hang it up and we'll have an option. Jahan Dotson, right? Because they got if you look, he's got the same tie as Brisker. Using my context clues here, baby. Or maybe, I don't, and it's not big enough to be Arnold Ebiketie or Brandon Smith. And I think Brisker would make more sense. Okay, yeah, they're talking receiver. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is the one thing I was shocked. I thought Brisker was similar to KJ Hamler, but maybe I was like, he's a little bit better in terms of just better with his hands, better at catching the football. And I was like, I can't believe how good of a playmaker this guy is on the ball, dude. Like, this guy's got some legit ball skills. AB's gone. AB's gone, you know, ripping the shirt off. Looking like me now, dude. I'm about to just rip it off and start waving to the fans. Goodbye. Chris Godwin's on the franchise tag. He could very well not be back with the squad. We saw injuries this year to, like, Scotty Miller. I know they have Jalen Darden, but he's a 4th rounder. He might end up just being a special team player. So maybe just keeping that corner or that wide receiver room fresh. And because Tyler Johnson's not a burner. You know, that's just not his game. Mike Evans, not a burner. So getting a guy that legitimately can separate and stretch the field vertically, yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. You still got Treylon Burks on the board here. That would be an interesting thought. Here at Kansas City, I bet you he's going to Kansas City. There it is. Makes too much sense. It just makes too much sense. I was like, I bet you it is. Do we really need to explain this? They could get a guy who has some legit speed for being what, like 6'3", 220, 230? Like, legit size, legit speed. Like, he could test out like DK, maybe Chase Claypool. Getting that type of playmaker, and that's kind of something they're lacking in the receiving room, size. So, yeah. Detroit Lions, do they go Sam Howell here? I'm curious. Do they go Sam Howell? Oh, it's Nakobe Dean. I totally forgot he was on the board. This is a great pick. This is just great value. You could take Dean. The linebacker room hasn't been great. I think they just started playing Derek Barnes a lot recently. So they're getting an idea of what they have in him. But getting someone that can play in the middle, because I would say Barnes is a guy you could probably use that as like a hybrid pass rusher. He used to be an edge rusher in college at Purdue. But yeah, Nakobe Dean, big difference maker. I like this. Tennessee Titans, Sam Howell, maybe, perhaps. I think edge might be the selection here. I think edge would make a ton of sense. Who is that? Is that Purdue? Oh no. I thought that was a P. Like, I thought the little thing he had here was a P. It's just some other logo. Is that David Bell though? I think that's David Bell. I'm gonna look him up real quick before I let the video tell me. Oh no, it's just giving me pictures with his helmet on. Nah. That's why I'm in this predicament. That doesn't look like David Bell. Unless I'm looking at the wrong David Bell. Who is this cat? Oh my gosh. Who are all these David Bells? Okay, no, this is definitely David Bell. Yeah, no, definitely David Bell. All right. Who is this guy that they showed in? Who is this picture? Here, I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all this. All right. So this is the picture. Here, minimize this. This is the picture they're giving me, right? And I was like, who is that? Doesn't look like who I'm looking for. And then I go into ESPN and I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Who the heck am I looking at then? You know? Funny, dude. It's just funny. I don't think this is what the Titans need. They need a legit separator. I don't think David Bell goes in the first round for that very reason. Like, I like David Bell a lot. I like him better as a day 2 prospect. You know, guys that have trouble separating in the NFL, man, like, it's typically doesn't work out well necessarily. But guys that are very good after the catch, you can kind of find success. Well, like, if you're not gonna be a separator, be good after the catch. Be good at the contested catch. Those are your kind of like your 2 big options. He doesn't really run a very big route tree at Purdue. Purdue's kind of like this whole, hey, screens, slants, goes, with the occasional drag. So, yeah, like, I love this dude's body control. It's just, I think Tennessee, they need a separator. Like, Dotson would be fun at this pick. So, I don't necessarily disagree. Wow, this video's gotten long, man. I'm just talking y'all's ears off. Hopefully y'all enjoy the Saturday slate of NFL games on today. What do we got, like 2? Drake Jackson going to the Packers. This kind of like Y9 guy, in my opinion. Come in, kind of be the Preston Smith. I think both Smith brothers are likely out of Green Bay. So you now got Gary. You get Drake Jackson. Very good athlete. So, yeah, no, overall, this mock wasn't... I think it was better than some of the mocks we have looked at recently. I'll say that. But you let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later. Wah! I used to be big. Yeah, I'm very white. I need a tan.